being held in person. It can also be viewed on local cable channel 1303 or on the internet by accessing bucksportmaine.gov and selecting agenda and minutes and choosing this meeting and clicking on the video button next to the meeting. Questions or comments may be submitted during the meeting by emailing rich.rotella@bucksportmaine.gov or during the meeting by calling 307-8030. Roll call.
Mark Eastman,
Here.
Tracy here,
Here.
Paul Rabs,
Here.
Josh Tripp,
Here.
Dick Peterson,
Here.
Larry Wall,
Here.
Ron Russell,
Here.
John Paul Lalonde.
Here.
Joe Devonzo is excused.
Item 2, approve minutes from March, April, May, and June meetings from 2025. Any questions or comments?
My apologies, I kept forgetting to add it to the agenda and I did it again and I stopped myself and have them for you.
Move to accept. Second.
Paul.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor? Update on all incentivized town properties sold from 11/30/15 to 8/5/2025. Rich?
So item number 3 in your packet lists a couple items for you. The first page lists the property, the address, the date the sale took place, the previous valuation, the 2025 valuation, and that difference in valuation. The previous valuation for the ones that are listed as Heritage Park, when taxes have been paid to meet the original amount of the land, that is when when it gets released to the owner. Now, what this does not include is also any personal property tax that these businesses may pay. And if you're familiar with the operations of a Greenhead Lobster, that's about twice the amount of what the valuation is just for Greenhead's property that they have. So the total amount in yearly taxes that these businesses are paying are $116,050.21. One of the properties is not a business. As you recall, the town council sold Wilson Hall to Zion's Hill property, Mr. Wall. But the rest and 27 Main Street was going to be a combination of both residential and commercial.
Yep.
And to that point, received word this morning from one of the few people who have not done anything with their property, and it says, this is dated 9/47 this morning. Rich, first I'd like to say I appreciate all the work you did for me in getting this done. But at this time, due to many variables beyond my control, I am starting the process to convey this lot back to the town of Bucksport. So that would be listed as Redmond Electric 95 Heritage Park.
Okay.
Luke reached out to SFS Development. We're getting the same.
That's 27 Main.
That is 27 Main Street. Luke is getting the same thing that I got when I approached them, asking where we're at. This time it went a little deeper. The person who presented to us said that it's actually back to SFS who's handling it. SFS said, no, it's back to Pat Kane. And then Pat Kane said, well, the engineer hasn't been able to figure out the sewer, and now we're going on, as you can see, well over 2 years with this. So Luke has enforcement authorities, and depending on what this committee would like to do, if they'd like to have a member come here to this next meeting next month.
So the only two left that haven't fulfilled their commitments are them and Down East Communications.
Them, Down East Communications, and one lot owned by Blue Partners LLC. I'll explain that in Dave's Auto. Dave's Auto came because it's a rather large business and needed the lot as well. So they're taking business from their Ellsworth and then their Bucksport and brought it here to this one central location. So they also took some of their dispatch out of Ellsworth. And because of the size of the project, they needed 2 lots to make that work. Blues Partners was supposed to do 2 projects. The first project is the one that is completed. It's the big building
Right.
for their
I
trucking.
was gonna ask about that, yes.
And their second was the storage units. And due to the storage units in Ellsworth, in Orland, just down the road, being so successful and them starting a second phase, and then a storage unit building being put in right next door, different from what he had pledged, they didn't see that they could make money in that endeavor. So they had asked previously if they could put another building on site to to assist with the business operations of the building. The lot, the way that it was built, and it was planned this way, is not wide enough if he goes to one lot to swing his trucks into his building. And he assured me, and Luke confirmed, that he did build up along the property line as close as he could towards Greenhead Lobster. So he said he is willing to come and speak to the committee and willing to pay for the land itself. But again, if this is someone else the committee would like to see in person next week, I can have him come into the meeting.
Meet next month.
Next month, thank you.
I thought on the second Blue Partners property, well, you've clarified it a bit, but I thought there was always supposed to be some sort of a second building there instead of a mulch pile and a screener and all this, and trailer truck storage. And I drive by occasionally and anyway, it just, and then I thought there was gonna be some sort of a covering over the materials being taken care of there. It seems, that's just my observation,
Yes. And that's
but
why
it
I
sounds
reached out.
like you're on it, so.
We are, but I'll leave it up to the committee. I mean, these are properties that are, Dave's Auto is one that's the agreement that the town had.
Yeah.
That would happen, but Blues Partners, that was not the agreement.
Yeah.
Downey's Communications hasn't done what it's supposed to do as well. When we had that conversation in February of this year, he said he was ready to go to the planning board, but has not reached out to Luke and has not come to the planning board.
And then one last question, and that's the second, Pemaquid Mussel Farm.
Mhm.
My house is valued more than that. Mussel, that's a pretty big building up there. It seems undervaluated. Just my 2 cents, but
Yeah, evaluation is more of an assessor question. I'm not. I can ask his opinion on that.
yeah.
And I don't know
To
what-
me, just jumping off the page with some of these other, well, I think it'd be worth asking the question that it seems low.
So
Anyway, thank you.
you're welcome. I tried printing off this information from the assessor on the real estate assessment system. But it's over my head. The land is valued at $98,000 and the building's valued at $335,750. And that's how we came up. That's how it came up with $433,930.
What's the pleasure of the committee? Do they want to get SFS, Down East, and Blue Partners, or to come in and
Who are the two different parties that you said are playing ping pong with? Who's responsible here?
that's
SFS?
statewide?
Yeah, that's statewide, that's 27. So when they came, Pat Kane did the presentation. And it's my understanding that after the lot was purchased, there was a delay due to attorneys that were representing us, but decided a few months later that they actually couldn't represent us. In the meantime, they were, SFS had a change of ownership. So since then, it seems like we've been playing,
I think it'd be good
Possibly.
to hear from them with so much change happening organizationally.
What did you say the land valuation was of the Pemaquid Mussel Farm lot?
land value 98,180. And the building's assessed at
And how
335.
big are those lots? Are they all the same?
No, that one was the biggest lot up there, but it was also the least usable because of all the wetlands on it. So that took a smaller footprint. Like Greenhead wouldn't have been able to be on that
Do you
lot.
know how many acres each are?
That one is 3.3. One's developed, one is the secondary, 0.35 is waste, wetland, and rear land is 0.95.
Is this Pemaquid?
That's Pemaquid.
What's the demand for the lots that if we were to get like a lot freed up, is there any real demand?
There's a waiting list.
There is a waiting
There
list.
is a waiting list.
How
That's good to
often,
know.
how often do you revisit the waiting list
Yeah.
usually?
We
Like fairly
didn't have anything
current?
available.
But we haven't had, yeah, to Counselor Eastman's point, we haven't had anything available since 2023.
So it's not that old though? the
It's
waiting
not
list.
that old, but I've seen the person recently and he is still interested. It's a one person waiting list. He's the first one, and I was just going through some of my back emails, and I do have someone that I can reach out to as well that was also interested.
So Rich, are those waiting lists for a free lot or for a purchase lot?
The free lot in the industrial park, yeah, because I did try to, because Brendan Lindsay has a building, Northeast Cable Construction used to be in there. But the last time that we had spoke, he wasn't interested in selling, he was interested in renting, leasing. And these people want their own building lot, because there are 3 empty buildings up there right now. One's being used for trucking from Greenhead Lobster to Central Maine Cold Storage. I believe they are storing lobster in there, so I really shouldn't say empty, but the intended use, and the person who purchased it isn't using it for their intended use at this point.
Is there sewer and water up there?
All of them have sewer, water, high-speed internet, and power.
When's the last time you talked to Brandon?
Same time I talked to all these guys, so it would have been February, March.
Might wanna revisit.
We can do that.
So what's the recommendation of the committee on this one? Bring all 3 in,
I think bring all 3 in.
Are there
Invite all three.
time schedules written into the agreement?
They've all exceeded. To be fair, a lot of the stuff that happened up there, like Dave's, was exceeded, but to find contractors was absolutely, it was tough. Matter of fact, Maine Marine LLC, the building was built, had to be torn all the way back down to studs, metal frame, and rebuilt again. It was very tough for a lot of these people, so Dave didn't want to go the route that he went. Blue Partners went the same route that Dave did with the same people, and then that was a nightmare. I mean, they finally, I think, got the garage door issues fixed with them as well, but they're taking, what used to be able to be done in 6 to 9 months is taking years now. At least 2, between contractors, plumbers, electricians, and everything.
do you need a vote, or we good on just?
Nope, if you tell me you want all 3, they'll all get an email today, then they'll get a follow-up phone call within a week if I haven't heard from them. Usually if I email, they get back to me right away. And like I said, Blue Partners, I talked to Mike last Monday.
And is Blue Partners the one that's working on returning it back?
No,
No.
Redmond Electric.
Redmond.
Yeah.
All right,
Just one question on SFS. What did they pay for the lot?
$1. Yeah, all these lots that were sold were $1.
all right. Update on all grants received from Community and Economic Development from 11/30/2015 to 8/5/25.
All right, the first 2 I didn't actually, and I put an asterisk by them, and then I realized I didn't even tell you what that meant. So the first 2, Susan applied for, but I administered. A lot of you, quite a few of you were actually on that EPA area-wide planning grant for the mill site. The EMDC broadband grant was in 2017. Grand total of those, and you should have received the revised copy from me, because Bangor Savings Bank, I inadvertently quoted that as 50,000, it's actually 25,000. So the ones that I printed off for you, I know are correct, but that total is $15,767,000, and the town's paid $2 million towards those grant projects.
That's great.
The VPI project, just as an FYI, that came up during the town council workshop on Thursday. If it does not, so the voters of Bucksport voted in the election of 2023 to fund up to $1.2 million. Now,
To borrow.
to borrow 1.2 million,
Yeah.
correct, it's that's a loan to do that. The DOT, when they came through with the numbers they originally gave us, did not match what we were told. So I called him and called him out on it. The town of Orono reached out to me and asked if we had a similar issue, and they had a similar issue as well, and it was corrected. So when the 1.2 million was quoted to the taxpayers and for the ballot, it included the surveying work you've seen out here, the construction and engineering phase, at a 50-50 split. That wasn't what we agreed upon. So he came back a couple months after the election. It was in January. The DOT picked up 90%, we picked up 10. So the project's gonna come in roughly 400,000 less, or 300,000 less. So the town should not have to pony up more than that $891, $600 figure that I quoted you, if my math is correct.
And what would be the sort of loan tenants on that? Just so taxpayers could have an idea of what the real yearly cost might be.
That would be, I would imagine the town would go out
With a bond.
for a request.
But you don't anticipate that before what'd you say, 27, 28?
27, 28, because once this work is completed, which we were advised would be roughly in the early winter of 2026, and then CDS through, it was King and Collins for this project, so you'd have word in 27, and then you could start work 27, 28.
Just so the town knows that it isn't one shot that they're gonna be responsible for in a year.
Oh, right, yeah, there's no savings to pay for this. This is coming from a loan.
So this is not done for a couple of years. And the project costs more than that. Does our 10% share go up, or?
I'm trying to remember what we put in for contingency. So when I do contingency, I tend to go on the higher end. And so the town dock project of 4.1 million. The engineers put in an 8% contingency, but I went back through and put in a 15% contingency because we had worked on it at the start of COVID. It actually finished, I believe, in January of 2020 when we came to the council. So I went through and changed all their contingency numbers to 15% because I was afraid it would take about 26, 27 because I was seeing real-time cost of projects in the industrial park, what Larry paid and what people were paying, which were so much different than pre-COVID that I went back and did a 15% contingency. I'll check to see what the contingency is on this project here because I did not do the contingency on that. The T.Y. Lin, our advisors, did contingency on that.
On the VPI,
Mhm.
when is that gonna affect the downtown Main Street?
That's the 27-28 project.
Okay, 27.
28.
But I wanna understand,
Mhm.
when would it start in 27?
It would start in 27 or 28.
Okay,
I
so
don't
in
have
other
a
words, we
timeframe.
don't really know.
No.
And
They've
it's
got to go
also
through this.
dependent on federal funding.
Depending on federal,
which is
because
still-
if we don't get the federal money, the project's not gonna happen. The taxpayer said
I
1.2 million.
Okay, so that's why, cause I'm looking at the numbers here, and they looked just a little lower than I thought it was going to be.
Oh.
So, okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, all right. Recommendation request 126, Bucksport Bay Business Coalition request to start up vendor bender in 2026. Okay.
So I met with Terry and the Bucksport Bay Business Coalition, not this Friday, but the Friday prior, about some of the things that she had run in the past and vendor bender, the hot August nights, and I came back up with vendor bender again and trying to figure out what was prohibitive from making it work. And it came back to the $75 for 3 hours of the parking lot per vendor. And in our conversation, Terry had mentioned the fact that when Councilor Gobbin was on here, that I think there was a mention of maybe lowering it because it was such a short period of time and it wasn't a full day, something sort of like $75 is what we charge for the Bay Festival. And that's an all-day thing, so Terry had asked about the possibility of seeing if we can bring that down to $50, and I said that would really be a committee thing and would need to go to the council, so that's why this is back before you. If anybody would like a rundown of what vendor bender is, Terry is here.
Hello. Vendor Bender is just like a evening street fair. I'm sure most of you guys have been to it or not. It was pretty well received. So people like it and are hoping that it'll start up again. So
Why don't you tell us the original terms so the committee knows, Terry?
the original terms.
The original financial terms that you had set up with the vendors.
Oh, it was just $25 and that's what I got to pay for like marketing and, banners and that sort of thing and stuff. But with the $50 that, that the town wants me to contribute when I do that, so I would keep 25, the town would receive the other 25 to go towards a trash pickup, a general fund, or to put it into a fund to do more events in the town. So that's up to you, but either way, but 50 is as high as I would go for a 3-hour event for the vendors. So,
I
You know,
tend to
we've been-
support it mostly because I.
well, I'm limited up to the marina. I can't go past that because of the ownership of the businesses and stuff. So, if I use the parking lot, I can probably squeeze in 30, 32 maybe.
Do vendors pay for each one or is it for the season?
No, it's for each day because they may not be able to make all days, so on the form that I give them, I list all the dates, so they circle if they want to pay in advance and stuff, and so they do it that way. And then, of course, any electricity, which they didn't use the last time I did it, but that would go back to the town. So,
And what kind of vendors are we talking about, Derek?
just craft vendors. We talked about doing food vendors, but now that there's more food places open, I thought about getting food trucks, like Mexican food or something that's not in the area, something that Main Street doesn't sell. So I wouldn't compete. And it would be hopefully 2 Mondays a month.
And what about the insurance cost
I've got my own insurance
for?
for the
Each
events.
vendor has its.
No, they have,
you
if they sell food.
Policy for the day or whatever, so.
Right, food vendors, they have to submit a ServSafe,
Mhm.
and of course, their insurance thing, the small craft vendors that only do it every now and then, they're not a store. They sign a waiver releasing the town, me, and anybody else liable.
So the town would take on responsibility then?
No, it releases the town of
Releases the
liability.
town,
Yes,
and then you take on the responsibility.
correct, that's why I have general liability insurance. And I
what's
can
your-
list the town
how
as
big is your
additional
policy?
insured.
How high is your policy?
$1 million, whatever.
Just $1 million? This day and age, that's not a lot.
I think
And
it's
I-
standard, I mean,
Not so sure.
I'm not
Again,
doing
I'm
drag
not-
racing.
I'm
not
not
doing
so
drag
sure,
racing.
I'm just saying that the
Yeah.
town has to think about that as it goes through to try to lower the price to get you in. So I think we take all costs associated with it, look at it as a business and see where it falls. Go ahead.
Or I could not do it under the coalition and go under the town and their umbrella,
Don't know. That's beyond my ability to
or
understand.
whatever, however you guys, I'm okay. But I have general liability and the insurance company said for what I do that was fine.
The $1 million is what we provide to Whole Oceans when we use their parking lot for parades.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's pretty standard
It's
for a
pretty
craft
standard.
vendor fair.
Yeah, that's why I'm not,
Yeah,
doing
when I
drag
ran
racing
co-op
or
and we did
anything like that.
fairs, it was usually $1 million
How long
rider.
ago was that?
2 years ago?
Only 2?
Yeah.
I thought you'd gone longer than that.
It feels like it.
I think that in the insurance companies too, I think that they're supposed to, roll with the times too. If they felt that I needed more, then they would have said, you know, I think you need to carry more, but for what I do, they said that this was,
Adequate.
yeah. So,
I support what you wanna do. Well
thank you,
done.
thank you, appreciate that.
This will take a vote if there's no.
Okay, so we have a motion to recommend.
I make a motion to recommend
Recommend,
as presented by Terry.
so 25, is that what I was understanding?
Yes,
Just wanna make sure.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
thank you.
Okay, so before you go, I'll bring this up to Jake. It won't make this Thursday's
That's fine.
agenda, so I will
Well,
look at the second
this is
one.
next year anyway, so, okay, cool, thank you.
Welcome.
Item 6, items not on the agenda for the public or the committee. We can start with the public.
Hi there, folks. Any movement on Park Street? You know, like businesses or anything that are interested in coming to Bucksport? I don't know. Just
Speak up a little, Steve,
Oh,
please.
I'm sorry. Is there any interest in Park Street for businesses or anything like that? I just thought I'd ask.
Not on Park Street, though I do see one piece of the land is 100,000 and the other one is listed for 225. I was on there today.
Oh, really? Yeah. But I also saw the 30-acre lot for 500,000. So, I just thought I'd ask, just in case.
I got a question, Whole Oceans.
Mhm.
I know what the I believe I understand what the status is. They're still not doing anything up there at all?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
They
That's
have-
good.
They have, I saw anyway, that they've got this active campaign. Oh, yeah, they've got an active campaign to sort of bid the process again, am I correct? Is that
A smaller scale.
on a
scale.
smaller scale? They're trying to rebuild it, but it wasn't an official thing I saw, it was just their, part of their package.
So, but that's
But-
them trying to get financing to come
Get
in.
investors. I
Yes.
believe.
Right, so
Yeah.
they haven't been able to do that. Now, if I understand correctly, we built the infrastructure for them already for water and all?
No.
We didn't,
I mean, there was,
It-
what
it
was
all-
there is there.
That was all existing.
right.
The town of Bucksport hasn't.
So we haven't done anything to increase sewer or anything else for them?
Nope.
Okay, so what was the infrastructure increase in the sewer for?
For the sewer plant.
In other words, we just had to go up 30.
Operating expenses of the sewer plant that weren't being covered by existing user fees. We were behind paying for it.
Okay, and just another question, because I've been asked a couple of times.
Sure.
And that is, what are the areas around us charging?
For sewer fees?
Yeah.
I don't have that answer.
I think it'd be
We can
nice to
find
know
Mhm.
what the others were charging before.
Well, but I
increase.
mean, ultimately, the goal is to have the fees cover the expense.
Oh, I
That's
understand.
what they haven't been, so it's
Yeah, I
good.
love Bucksport, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I also know that, that's a huge price to pay for quarterly for sewer. Just my interpretation of things,
Sure.
coming from another area that charged you the water bill side. So whatever your water bill was, that was your sewer fee.
Mhm.
And of course, that's not what we have here. We have,
Correct.
it's like 3 or 4 times higher. Well, 3. So anyway, there you go, there's my thoughts on it. Rich smiles.
Anyone else?
Question,
Yes,
and this is not a critique, this is a question.
sure.
Down here at the, do you call on the power plant or try and reach out to Whole Oceans or the folks that were going to bring in wood and send out oil? Anyway, do you make, like, let's call them sales calls every 6 weeks to, or every 2 months, or some sort of a time period to check in and see, are they going forward with the megawatts of battery storage, or do they have another plan at the power plant? We saw in June the PowerPoint presentation from out in California about, they were really looking for, to me, it read like they were looking for more financial backing, but do we have anything going on with them, and again, the folks that we're looking? I mean, it's all potential revenue. Every $1 million only generates for us 15,500. So to put in $10 million of megawatt storage, that's nice, but, you know, if we could get a whole oceans or the, that's wrong, so, and can you share with us, is there any background stuff going on in terms of tax incentives or whatever with any of the potential projects?
So, actually, it's funny you say that because it's in my monthly report. I just reviewed and updated the entire 58-page Whole Oceans TIF. As per their request, they wanted a copy of the TIF and asked if it was still good, and I explained to them if we're dropping valuation, we're 6 years into something that should have already been started, so they've lost the time frame where they were 100% getting their taxes back, so they would need either an amendment or a new TIF agreement. So I took the time to crunch and do the work associated with that. We had an all-site meeting via Zoom here. I introduced everyone to Jacob. The only folks who did not attend was Maine Maritime Academy, but we had a separate meeting here 2.5 weeks ago, and we'll be meeting with them the week of August 25th. So Whole Oceans and Jera Americas and CMP, because they have a switch yard on the property, we're all part of that all-site meeting. DEP was supposed to attend, but they had something that they had to attend to, so they weren't able to attend. But the plan is to continue to do this, because as you know, I think it was when Ron was down in the legislature, they passed that law about transmitting the power instead of not going over lines. I think it was a 5-mile radius. So,
Okay.
yeah. So there's
This is gonna
constant
be-
communication,
This is in
and
your
it's all
monthly
recent.
report for the,
A lot of it is, yeah.
Oh,
My
okay.
monthly reports.
sorry for jumping the gun, we'll see
No.
it on Thursday then.
It's been in your email since last week, so you have it.
All right, thanks.
Anything else? Committee?
Oh, I thought that was an interesting conversation though. Good job.
So,
September already?
September already, yeah. I was just gonna give you a quick update. So the playground decommissioning started today, ended today. The playground's completely been hauled off over at Ian's. That includes all the concrete that everything was encased in. The only thing that'll be remaining will be the swing set that's not leaving. The trash cans and the benches will be removed and then will be put strategically back in once the playground is built. Tomorrow the crew is gonna haul off the contaminated wood chips that's on site. Those cannot be reused. And on Wednesday, the curbing, which is broken off and which caused a lot of the damage to the playground itself, is that curbing that was there has been removed, and all new curbing will be placed in. It'll be paved. The ADA access will be created as well. Thursday, everything will be brought up to. By Thursday, everything will be brought up to grade. Next Wednesday, the new playground equipment will arrive, and I'm just waiting on verification on when the contractors will be assembling. So that is that project. The Route 1 wall project. Some point this week, the new railing should go in at the Buck Cemetery, and then access should be granted to the public to be able to go up the walkway. We've kept it blocked for safety reasons. There's no railing, so no public. They can enter through the back gate towards Advanced Auto Parts if they want to see what's there. And then the last part of that project is the trees across the street that needed to be put in. The bulk of this project has been paid for, and we're just waiting on an over $200,000 reimbursement from the state that was initially submitted July 2nd. I submitted a second request on July 16th, and if I don't see the money in our account tomorrow, they'll be getting a third request tomorrow.
On that part of town, any word on the MDOT doing the light?
There is something on their website and, I believe the red markings in the road on that section is what they did for their survey work for that light. But I haven't been part of those conversations about the light, so that I don't know, but the red markings happened before anything, the yellow, blue, green and white on Main Street and all the subsequent side streets. For the folks at home who live from Central Street up to Franklin, headed out to Orland, Fidium fiber has been installed because Orland got a grant that allowed their citizens to be able to get Fidium fiber. And the good thing is their grant money also fed our lines because the station's here. So it had to start here and they fed it all the way out that way. So Fidium fiber is available. Apparently they're running some fantastic deals. It goes right down on Route 1 and everything. You should be able to get it right at
Yeah,
50.
already talked to him.
I reached out to him today too.
Yeah, I don't think they went your
They
far, no, but there, I did apply, they did a grant and I did letters of support for a larger section of Bucksport
Great.
as well. This was covered with someone else's grant, so for us, it was
Are
no
they
money.
going up Elm Street?
Yep.
Not at this time.
Eventually.
As part of that
Oh,
grant.
well, they're going as far
Well,
as
they-
my house, I don't know.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because they came over to my house and they ran a line from my home, which is on Buckley Lane, the dead end.
Yeah.
Over to Elm Street.
Oh, they very well may have then,
But I'm saying they ran it,
yeah.
but that was 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
5 weeks ago. And I keep putting on the line, is it ready? I haven't heard a word.
I'd give them a call. My understanding that it was up to Franklin at Central. I did not know they went to Elm Street, but maybe because I have someone on 3rd Street who we met with Fidium, and they told me about this entire project and said that they were applying for a grant for the rest of Bucksport if I had to do a letter of support. And they had it within half an hour.
Great. Another less expensive option for
Maybe.
citizens.
Maybe.
So far it is, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I think it's a
same.
great fiber, you can't go wrong. But
Yeah.
I did find where,
Rich, what was the, for the playground, what was the name of that?
and.
The source of the money that it didn't come from taxpayers, it came from
It came from ARPA, the American Rescue Plan.
American Rescue Plan.
The money needed to be designated by
Would've been 85.
December 31st of 2024.
Just for a phone.
The remaining amount of that project for the playground itself came from recreation reserves. The last thing that really needed anything from recreation reserves was the playground, because we've already fixed the pool. Some of the other recreational stuff that was fixed, I took out of the day-to-day operating expense of the waterfront account to make sure nets, lights, whatever needed to be done was all taken care of. So
Yep, gotcha.
rec trails were redone on Miles Lane. That came from recreational reserves, but the last thing was the playground. And I will say I was there today when they were removing some of the equipment and the poles. On the outside, a lot of things looked rough, but the poles had so much rust on them that when they were pulling things out, they let go. So
Yep.
it was only a matter of time before something catastrophic happened over there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
That's everything I got.
Okay. Next meeting, September 8th. Work for everybody?
Okay, and I'll have those three lot owners invited to that meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Oh, you can start.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah, I was trying to get that